Hi. Although marriage is important in most cultures, not much is known about different cultures and marriages, so I wanted to give you all a small insight of a traditional marriage in Igbo culture. I am Nigerian and my tribe is called the Igbo people, and we have distinct two different marriage ceremonies that we do. And one is a traditional marriage ceremony, and the second one is what they call a white wedding, which is like a church wedding, what we do here. But what I wanted to speak about was the traditional wedding, which is something that we usually don't experience here in the States. So it would be a nice informative talk to talk about. A marriage in Igbo land is celebrated in two major parts. A traditional marriage is called Igbo, and a white wedding, usually later, like 3 days later after the party, in a church. And the traditional marriage includes everyone, including villagers, the groom's family, the bride's family, and even, anybody that walks in off the street. So, it can have as many as 1,000 people show up at your house or wherever they're holding the ceremony. It's a really big, elaborate, fun for all party, and it's really fun. In the beginning, before the wedding, the traditional wedding, they have the introductions where the groom goes with his father, and he goes with his family and his kinsmen. He goes to the bride's house. This is before the wedding, and they talk to the parents, the bride's parents, and they say, "This is the flower. We see a flower in your garden." They just talk in proverbs, and they say, "This is the flower in your garden. You want to pick a flower." And so the father says, "Well, which is it?" And so they name the name of the girl that they want to marry. And so they bring out the girl, and the girl says, "Is this true?" She says yes, or she says no. She usually is yes. And then they start negotiating on a bride price. Now, usually it's not really like you paying for a person, but it's mainly a symbolism of how much time and work a parent has put in training a child, and it shows respect in the custom. It shows respect in the custom. Usually it's not much. Mainly it's like goats or chickens or a little bit of money. Mainly, I think it goes towards the cost of the wedding anyway. So it's all, it's all for the right reasons. So after that is settled, then they pay it. They come back on another meeting and they pay it. Then they get ready for the traditional wedding. Now, the traditional wedding is hosted by the bride family, and they take care of all the funding. They pay for everything, the food, the transportation. Now, before they get married, the groom enters with his people, his kinsmen. They come in and they dance, and everybody acknowledges that they're there. And then the family of the bride enters. Now, the bride's father comes in first, and he sits his in-laws, his future in-laws. Then the mother of the bride comes in with a dance, and then the father of the bride takes this fruit from a kola tree. They call it kola nut, and in Igbo culture, it's a symbolism of respect and peace. So they may pray before they break the fruit, and it's given to the men at the table, like the in-laws, and so they're given to them to eat, and it's like a breaking, like how people toast champagne. It's like the breaking, break the ice sort of thing, and it gives goodwill to a ceremony.
Traditional ceremony is really fun because after they break the kola nut and everybody's ready to see the bride, and the bride hasn't showed up yet. So the bride comes in, and she's coming in with all her handmaidens. Now she'll have like 20 or 30 women, her all her sisters, all her friends, all her classmates with her, and she'll usually always have something different from her maids in waiting. So they come in the entrance and they dance. Now, the bride by herself, the other women go sit down. The bride by herself goes to her father, and there's a cup filled with palm wine. It comes from the palm tree. They make it into a wine, and she gives a specific cup for her, and he fills it with palm wine. Now, while he's doing that, the groom, his friends, have hidden him in the crowd somewhere. So the bride is by herself with a cup of palm wine, and she places her hands over the cup to cover it. And she searches in the crowd for her groom. And it's kind of like a game, because other men come up to her and ask to drink her cup, because drinking her cup signifies that that's her husband. So they, in fact, they want to steal her, be her husband. But, she looks, and she finally sees her husband, and everybody claps, and it's really fun. And the groom drinks, takes a sip of the palm wine, and then everybody cheers, and she brings her husband, to her father, and the father blesses them. So blesses their union of their marriage. So now they're married, because she has now acknowledged before God and everybody that came that is her husband, and she has now got the blessings of her father. So now they're married. And traditional marriage ceremony is really fun. It lasts forever. It's not your typical 2-hour ceremony. You can be there partying even 2 days straight. And that's a typical Igbo wedding ceremony. And I hope you enjoyed my small introduction. You should really come down to the east of Nigeria, particularly, or in Shimike, and watch a real good Igbo ceremony. The best times to come is Christmas, because it's kind of cool. So thank you for listening. Bye.